All right. So for this video, as you see by the title, I'm going to, kind of discuss how sex is marriage. And part of this video is going to be a little bit of my testimony. So I'm going to, like, in a sense, like tie in my personal life, what happened to me personally, and tie it into this whole list and everything, and just show you all the significance of what I'm about to say. But before I just start anything, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem and Yahweh Shah. And I'm gonna go get straight into it. So let me share my screen real quick. So first of all, before I start, now, like I said, like I see by the what you call the title of this video, I'm going to explain how sex is marriage. Sex is marriage, and I'm gonna explain at the same time like how what you call it, how deep that is, because a lot of people don't understand, like, how sex is something very serious. Like, people just think that, it's just something that, people do for pleasure or whatever, but it is a very serious thing, though. It is a very serious thing. So I'm hold on, let me see. Okay, let me bring up the verse real quick. But I'm basically explain, like I said, the significance of it, and at the same time the severity of it. So for one, let me bring up this first verse real quick. So I'm gonna go to Genesis 2. Genesis 2. All right, so Genesis 2, I'm gonna start at verse 24. So it says right here, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, and the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. So right here, cleave. A lot of people say that, oh, all you gotta do is cleave. That word means, hold on to her. But this word cleave is talking about sex. Because if all I have to do to make somebody my wife, because let's try to play semantics and be a little bit technical real quick. Because if we're playing semantics and being technical, let me show y'all. This what the word cleave means in the Hebrew. So to cling, stick, stay close, cleave, keep close, stick to, stick with, follow closely, join to, overtake, catch. To cling, cleave to, stay with, be joined together, cause to cleave, to pursue closely, overtake, to be made to cleave. So right here, when it says the word cleave or whatever, if I go by this definition, then when it comes down to having somebody be my wife, that means all I gotta do to make somebody my wife is stay with them, or to hold on to them, to stay close, to stick to clean, keep close, stick. That means I gotta do all these things. But in this context, it's talking about sex. And like I said, throughout this video, I'm going to explain, how marriage is sex, or sex is marriage, basically. So let me go back. But like I said, using that logic to say that, oh, cleaving means hold on to. But that's, like I said, that's playing semantics. When he says cleave, that's referring to actual sex. But in another instance, let me look up cleave again in Isaiah 14. Oh yeah, let me go Isaiah 14. Okay, look right here. When it says they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So does that mean they're going to marry them? No. In this sense, it's a different context when saying the word cleave. So just because it says cleave does not mean it's just saying that, oh, you got to hold on to them. Like, there's a meaning behind that word cleave too. Or there's different ways you can, like, it's like a homonym. Not a homonym, but basically like it's different definitions for the word cleave, and if in different contexts for the word cleave. So just don't take the word cleave and just run with it because it means, oh, hold on to, or hold on tightly. That's how, that's like, no. Because if like I said, if that's what it means, I can just go up to somebody and hug on them and cleave onto them, and they can be my wife. That doesn't make any sense. at all. Just because I hug somebody or hold on tight to somebody doesn't make them my wife. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get into this real quick. So Exodus 22. And I'm gonna start at verse 16. And I'm gonna basically, like I said, I'm gonna break down exactly how marriage should go. Because like I said, sex is marriage, but there is a process that you must go through. It's not as simple as people. Well, it is simple, but at the same time, it's not just just taking somebody's daughter and having sex with them. Like, no, it's a process you must go through to do it the correct way. Let me show y'all this real quick. So it says right here, Exodus 22 verse 16, and if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. So keep in mind when you say entice. So let's break down these words real quick. So entice, what does entice mean? To be spacious, to be open wide. Where is it at? To persuade, seduce. So basically it's saying spit game. If you don't know what I mean when I say spit game, sweet talk somebody, like sweet talk them into making them your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, being sly with your words and everything. Y'all know what I mean. When you spit your game. So when you entice somebody, if you entice somebody, a maid that is not betrothed, let's break down that word betrothed. What does that word betrothed mean? To engage, meaning that they haven't been, they haven't been engaged by somebody, espoused. That's another word. Espoused basically means promised to be a wife. So if there's a woman who hasn't been promised to be a wife yet, or doesn't have any man that has told her that has, in a sense, like, spit game to her as well, if you entice her to be your wife, and then it says and lie with her. So what does it mean when it says and lie with her? Basically talking about sex. Because when you lie with a woman, you have sex with her. So when you lie with her, it says he shall surely endow her to be his wife. So basically, once again, let's read it again. If you spit game to a female that is not married just yet, and you have sex with her, she'll be your wife. That's basically what that's saying. If you spit game to a female or sweet talk her into becoming your wife, and she's not married yet, and then you have sex with her, she's your wife now. Then you read verse 17. It says, if her father utterly refuses to give her to him. So the father is very important in marriage. Very important. A lot of people nowadays don't realize how important the father is in the consummation of the marriage. Because as we go around, or in the world nowadays, the father is barely even in the picture. Barely in the picture. A lot of dudes just go and have sex. They have sex with a bunch of women, and the girl, she may not really be I guess as a protective of herself and all that stuff. And plus, like I said, the man, we don't really nowadays. Us men don't have the mindset to always go to the father. It's just, if I like somebody, I'm gonna be with them. I don't care about anything else. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But the father is very important in this whole equation of marriage. So it says, if her father utterly refused to give her unto him, so the father, first of all, the father must give you permission, or give you, the say so, or the heads up on whether or not he wants this man to be the daughter's wife. So he says, if he doesn't want to give her up to him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So if this man, okay, like I said, if you have had sex with somebody, right, but the father does not approve of that, that means you got to pay him money, because you did not go through the right process when it comes down to marriage, because it goes through the father first. You got to get permission from the father first. Then everything else can fall in place. That's how marriage should go. You go to the father and ask him for her hand in marriage. And then afterwards, everything else happens. And then when he gives you, permission or whatever, then you have sex with her. I'm gonna break down. I'm gonna break it all down. But this is just like the basis and foundation of what marriage should be. You know what I'm saying? So for those, there are many people, many men out here who they would have to pay up if the fathers knew exactly how marriage goes, and the fact that we have all these men out here, all these men out here running around having sex with anybody, they would have to pay up for that. If the father knew exactly how to approach a marriage biblically. But let's continue. Let's continue. I'm gonna go to Genesis real quick and show y'all how marriage happened between, I think it was Jacob. So I'm gonna go to Genesis. I'm gonna start at verse 12. So it reads, and Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob and his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. So look, this is one thing that a lot of women should keep in mind. Keep this in mind for any woman out there. If the man that you are with, if he's trying to entice you or whatever, if he doesn't ask you where your father is, if he doesn't go to your father first, that's a red flag. If he doesn't go to your father first before he does anything with you, before he hugs you or try to touch you or kiss you, whatever it may be, if he trying to get in your genes before he gets to your father, go ahead and let him go. Because of the fact that he's not trying to do everything in the right way. Because this is all about discipline. It's all about patience. Because you don't want to rush a marriage. You don't want to rush anything at all. Because when you do, bad things happen. And like I said, I'm gonna give my testimony of my life in the next couple of minutes after I get done with this thing. But I'm gonna show y'all exactly how I'm a testament to that. But like I said right here, if a man is not willing to go to the father first before he even tries to have sex with you or even talk about sex with you, that's a red flag. Because that could lead to lust. That means he just wants to be with you just because he wanted to get in your genes. So are you marrying somebody for lust or really because you love them? And I'm gonna show you how Jacob is a prime example of someone who truly loves somebody. Jacob is a true example of love. Like I'm gonna show y'all too. So it says he basically went to the father, embraced him, kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said to Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. So look, this is how it should go. How it should go is that the father and the man should have a conversation, basically about, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, what's the deal? What should I do before I have sex with your wife? I mean, have sex with your daughter. What should I do before I marry her? What do you require of me before I marry your daughter? And like I said right here, they're having a conversation. They're breaking down like what's about to be done. And Jacob said he wanted to be with Rachel. So in order to be with Rachel, he said, first of all, I'm going to serve you for 7 years so I can get your daughter. Jacob said he would serve the father for 7 years, then he's going to get Rachel. So if the man is not really willing to wait that long, because look, like I said, this is in order to get everything right. Because for one, for 7 years, that's a long amount of time. Plus, at the same time, you'll get to know this person. So this is why it's important to do it in the right way, to do marriage in the right way, because you don't want to sit there and rush things. That's why Jacob, he's saying that, okay, I love Rachel, but to even show my love, I'm gonna wait 7 years before I do anything with her, before I have sex with her. because I want to get to know her first, even though she may look attractive, and I may love her and everything, but I want to get to know her even more. And 7 years is a good amount of time, a great amount of time to know somebody. So basically, you want to get to know somebody first before you do anything with them at all, because you're not going to know everything about that person in just a year or so. Like it's going to take a while to get to know somebody. Because at the same time, that builds up that builds your relationship. When y'all know each other for 7 years before I do anything, it kind of it instills that trust, it instills loyalty, it instills boundaries, it instills a lot of things, and it makes y'all bond even closer. So when that time comes for y'all to have sex and to consummate the marriage, everything will be all good because of the fact that y'all both trust each other, the fact that y'all both had patience for that long. So not saying that everybody got to wait 7 years, but how it should go is that the father, he gives you a deal. And that's, but this offer was made by Jacob though. This offer was made by Jacob. He said he said himself he's going to wait 7 years, but the father approved of that. He was like, okay, you want to wait 7 years? Okay, I'm fine with that. So the father has to approve all these things. So for the men out there, it's very important for the men to hear this, because this is all done through the man. It's all done through the man. The man has to say so in everything. The daughter, like, at the same time, that the daughter does have a say so in it as well, in terms of, like, if she sees something in the brother or not. Because at the same time too, the daughter can see something wrong with the man and be like, like in those 7 years of Jacob being with Rachel and everything, not having sex, Jacob could have did something messed up that caused Rachel to be like, hey, like, Dad, like, Jacob, I don't think he's the one. I don't think, you should trust him because he out here selling dope and he out here, having sex with other women. He out here doing this, doing that. So there could be, in those 7 years where it's like, hey, like, maybe the daughter can't have a say so in, on the relationship or in whether or not that Jacob should be the one that she should marry. So the woman do have a say so in this as well. Like, don't get this wrong, don't get it wrong, sister. The woman do have a say so in it, but it's really up to the man though, in terms of who he wants to be his wife. Because once again, the father can give the wife. I mean, the father gives the daughter to Jacob. He decides which daughter he wants to give, and this is even shown through the story. But let's continue to read though. But it says, and Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. So look, the fact that he instilled trust already, he instilled that trust that he said that I will serve you for 7 years. So Laban said, okay, I'm gonna give her to you rather than to somebody else, because I don't trust anybody else right now. I trust you. So then continue to read, and Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. So even though he served for 7 years, but they saw off the bat that, hey, they're already clicking. So it's meant to be. So they may not really need 7 years, but it just shows like sometimes, like, love does not have a time limit at all. Love does not have a time limit. Like love can really be, you can really love somebody or really be, in a sense, attracted to somebody in like a manner of like days. You can just meet them in 2 days or whatever and just be instantly attracted to them. So it don't necessarily have to take 7 years or a long time, but those 7 years are very important to get to know somebody though. That's the whole point. So you can still have that same love that shows in 2 days, but you still need to take those 7 years or whatever time it is to get to know that person though. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue to read though. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me thy wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. What does that mean? That I may go in unto her. That's talking about sex. That's talking about sex. Because it didn't say anything about, a ring. It didn't say anything about what you call it, a wedding gown or going to a church and everything, and it didn't say anything about that. This is showing you how thick is marriage and how it's done through the family. It's not even done through, a pastor or through, a deacon or whatever. Like, no, it's done through the family. So this is showing you how sex is marriage. He said that I may go in unto her. It's common sense. If y'all want to play semantics and everything, it'd be like, oh, that means something else. No, it's clear as day that he's saying that he's gonna go in, penetrate her. Sex. That's exactly what it's saying. So then continue to read, and Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. So for one, it was supposed to be Rachel. It was supposed to be Rachel. Rachel was the one that was supposed to be given to Jacob as the wife. But they took Leah and they gave him Leah instead. They tricked him. They tricked him and gave Jacob Leah. So continue to read. It says, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah's Zilpah, his maid for a handmaid. Came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah, and he said to Leah, what is this thou? What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? So he's saying, Jacob is saying, hold up, I did 7 years of serving for Rachel. I didn't do 7 years of serving for you. Then it said, wherefore then thou hast beguiled me? So he's saying that, have y'all tricked me? Like, what's going on? Like, I thought I did this for Rachel, not you. So he had sex with Leah instead of Rachel. Then it's saying, Laban said, it must not be done so in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. So this was a part of this, the whole, custom of Laban and his people. So it shows you how, like, how it technically for Laban and them, the firstborn is not given until, what you call it, after the younger is not given to marriage before the firstborn. The firstborn is always given first, basically. That's how it technically went for Laban. Let's continue to read. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel, his daughter, to wife also. So look, let's continue reading. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bala, his handmaid, to be her maid, and he went in also unto Rachel. Once again, 6. He went in unto Rachel. He also loved Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. So Jacob, he served 7 more years for Rachel. So technically, he basically served the father for 14 years before he had sex with Rachel. He served the father for 14 years before he had sex with Rachel. That's showing you the love that he had for her and the dedication he had for the marriage that he wanted to do with her. So ladies, once again, if there's not a man out there who is willing to wait at least 2 years, because Jacob did 14 for one woman. Jacob, he waited 14 years before he had sex with Rachel. So if you got a man out there who wants to hit on the first night, he's not willing to wait at least 2 years. I'm saying at least 2 to 3 years, at least 2 to 3. If you're not willing to wait at least 2 to 3 years to get to know this person and then maybe have sex with them, I maybe even say 5 years at max. 2 to 3 at least 5 years at max. That's what I'll say. Or whatever the bargain may be. If a man is not willing to wait and be patient before he has sex with you, he's not the one. Because a lot of men, even though a lot of men out here, they do what you call it. We do have a sex drive and everything. Of course, that's what we have that. And it's a part of our nature to, want a woman, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like being with them and everything, all that stuff. Of course, that's what we were made for, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time though, like if you can't be patient and do it the right way, like if you can't go to the father first, you can't talk to him first about it, and then make a deal with him talking about how you're gonna wait and everything. If you can't do these things before you have sex with this girl, you're not the one then. So hold up, let me bring up a verse real quick. Let me see. Hold up, y'all. I'm trying to find a verse that references patience. Hold up. Hold up. Slack, y'all. Slack. Hold up. Because there's like a lot of verses I can bring up talking about patience, but they're not the ones I'm looking for. But the whole point when I'm talking about patience is that in terms of patience, when you wait, good things happen. I think there's a phrase like a quote, good things come to those that wait. So whenever you wait, then good things can happen. So if you can wait to have sex with somebody, it builds up your spirit, basically. That's the whole point I'm trying to say with this whole patient thing. So like I said, if a man can't wait, before he has sex with you, he's not the one. And the fact that Jacob, he basically, like I said, he waited 14 years to have sex with her. 14 years. So once again, to kind of give a little bit of a recap. So the recap is that for one, this is how it should go. For one, the man, if he sees somebody that he wants to be his wife, he must go to the father first. If he approaches you, he must go to the father first. When he goes to the father, they make a deal. And the man can offer and be like, okay, I am willing to wait, maybe 3 years or 5 years, however long he says, I'm willing to wait this long before I have sex with your daughter. If the father and the man can make an agreement, they'll make that agreement. He'll wait however long he said he's going to wait. Then in those years of waiting, they build their relationship. They see, if they're fit for each other or not. And after those years are done with, that is when they have, they basically they can throw a feast or throw a party or whatever it may be, because it's a celebration. The fact that the daughter is they're about to be married. This consummation, this marriage thing, like it's a very like faithful thing, because of the fact that it's making y'all one flesh. Like I said in Genesis, Genesis, when Adam and Eve came together, they were one flesh. So it's a very beautiful thing for a marriage to happen. So that they're gonna throw a feast or a party or whatever. Then afterwards they have sex. Then after they have sex, they're married. Simple as that. Simple as that. I'm gonna bring up a few more verses, talking about how sex is marriage, and then like I said, I'm gonna get into my testimony real quick. But Slocky, y'all, Slocky, I'll be right back. But Slocky. All right, Slocky, y'all, Slocky. So, let's see. So I'm gonna go to this verse and just bring up a few more verses talking about how sex is marriage. Because like I said, I'm going to this basically give y'all just the whole idea of what it is, and I already let y'all know what it is, but I'm just giving a few more verses to let y'all know what it is. Then I'm gonna get into my testimony real quick. So let's see. Right here, verse 64. So you can read the whole chapter and everything, but I'm getting to the point, just trying to confirm my whole reason for bringing up these verses. But it reads, and Rebecca lifted, excuse me, Rebecca lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the candle. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother's And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. So look, what happened here? Because it said that she became his wife when? After they got out of that tent. What did they do in that tent? Just think about it. Isaac took her into a tent, and after they came out of that tent, she became his wife. It didn't say anything about a ring. It didn't say anything about, a wedding dress or a wedding gown or a wedding reception. It literally said right here, after he took her into the tent, she became the wife. It's simple as that, letting you know exactly what that sex is marriage. It's very simple. Very simple. So now that I'm gonna stop sharing my screen real quick. So with that, we should have a great idea of what sex is and what marriage is. Now, we know that sex is marriage, and the fact that there's nothing that has to do with a wedding ring and nothing like that. Like, ain't got nothing to do with a wedding ring at all. It's just sex. But at the same time, though, you got to be careful with who you choose to be with. You gotta be careful who you choose to try to be your wife or be your husband. Ladies, watch out. Men, fellas, watch out. Be careful who you choose. Now, I'm gonna get into my testimony a little bit of what happened personally in my life and help me get to where I'm at now. So, around 2020, I'll say, yeah, around 2020, the beginning of 2020, I was in high school. I was my senior year. And I wasn't really in the truth like that for real. Like I wasn't really as, in the truth like I am now. But one thing I want to say is that around that time, I still had, a kind of, it was like I was showing some signs of coming into the truth, but I wasn't fully in it because of the fact that I was distracted. I didn't have the right people around me at that time. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really, focused in the word like I should have been. You know what I'm saying? Because as of now, like I'm really focused. I'm more focused than I ever been. You know what I'm saying? But at that time though, I did have a girlfriend and everything. And I'm not gonna say any names like that, but I'm just gonna tell my testimony and everything without embarrassing anybody. But basically at that time though, I did have a girlfriend, and I think throughout the years and everything, like we did do things like kiss and everything. We kissed and all that stuff, and we did a lot of stuff that, in a sense, would constant. We didn't have sex at all. No, I never had sex with anybody at all in my life. But we did do some things that was kind of very lustful. Though, I'll say that for sure. But in that whole situation, I was with her. Like I never really went to her father first. I barely went to her father to have a conversation with him. I didn't really do things in the right way because I wasn't in the truth. And I had thoughts of talking about marrying her and everything and all that stuff, but I never really understood what marriage was first. And plus, I didn't really get a chance to know her for real. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't know each other for real at all. Like when I met her and everything, like we probably knew each other a little bit. You know what I'm saying? There was a few days where we kind of talked and everything, but we really didn't know each other like that. Like we only started to get to know each other, you know what I'm saying, in 2020. But throughout that whole year and everything, like our relationship and everything, like it wasn't really, you know what I'm saying, like it should be, because of the fact that we didn't do things in the right way. And because of the fact that I didn't, first of all, like I said, I wasn't in the truth. So I wasn't really, doing things the way that should have been done. Like the way that Jacob did what he did, what he did, he waited. But at that time, I wasn't patient at all. At all. My mindset in terms of relationships, it was just very skewed. In the same time, too, lust was running in my mind. Pornography and all this stuff, and very lustful things caused us to break up. So this is why I'm giving my testimony, because of the fact that I'm showing you exactly what could happen when you don't do things the right way and when your life is not right. You know what I'm saying? So lust, me being in the word enough, and also being in Christianity. I feel like being in Christianity, like they don't tell me these things. I'm not gonna sit here and blame everything on Christianity, but that religion does not help you at all in terms of really knowing what to do in your life. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you the right things. They don't let you know how important the commandments are. Because the truth that I'm in now is putting me at peace. Because I'm a hold up. Let me find this verse. Hold up, y'all. There's a verse that I want to bring up. Let me share my screen one more time. Romans 9. Romans 8. Let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can see. So Romans 8 and 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So at this time, my mind was ran. Let's look at the word carnally real quick. Flesh. My mind was ran by the flesh. I wasn't ran by the spirit at all. And look, right here it says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. So at that time in 2020, my mind was ran by my flesh. Like I said, lust, pornography, all those things. It was running rampant in my mind, and I wasn't focused. I wasn't in the truth like I am now. And the fact that I didn't really have the right guidance, like I said, Christianity, like they did not teach me the things that I really needed to know. You know what I'm saying? To really be in the truth. You know what I'm saying? So basically, me and her, we broke up and everything. Like I think around, I'll say maybe October or November of 2020 of that year and everything. And from that point on, from like that I think close to the end of 2020, going into 2021, I was basically just focused on myself. Like I did, it took me a while to like, in a sense, get my mind off of her because of the fact that I was so attached. You know what I'm saying? The fact that like I said, my mind was just focused on trying to be with her and everything. And I was legit letting her, ruin my life. Not saying that like she was bad or anything, but my mind wasn't focused though. Because I wasn't focused spiritually. I wasn't helping me nor her. You know what I'm saying? So me and her breaking up, you know what I'm saying? Like it basically helped both of us. Or it mainly, in a sense, it mainly helped me. And the reason I'm saying that's because of the fact that when it comes down to a relationship, the man has to be in line. The man has to be in line. He has to be ready and prepared because of the fact that God, he's not going to have a weak man run anything. He's not going to have a weak man run anything or be the head of anything. If y'all do know that in Adam and Eve, he chose Adam. He chose the man first. He chose the man to be the head of everything. To basically make sure that, everything below him is in line. God is above, everything. So you got God, then you got the Father, then you got the Son, then you got, the Holy Spirit, then you got, the man, then the woman, the children, everything else. That's how it should be. And if the head of the household, if the man is not in line, then how can everything below be in order as well? So me and her breaking up, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that helped me realize that, hey, if you want to be a part of a marriage, you got to be ready. Mentally, physically, spiritually, all that. Spiritually above all. Because once again, it says to be carnally minded is death. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. You're at peace when your spirit is in line, when your spirit is right, when you're thinking from a spiritual mindset of everything. So before I try to make any decision, I try to think, okay, like how is this going to affect me spiritually? You know what I'm saying? But after me and her broke up and everything, I took like, maybe like a good maybe 8 to 8, almost 8 months, 8 to 9 months, I'll say, like I said, focus on myself And in those 8 to 9 months, I was coming into this truth. Because, like I said, I was showing I was showing signs of being in it. I had a little bit of the truth, but I wasn't fully in it like I should have been. You know what I'm saying? So in me being fully in the truth, I was able to think right. You know what I'm saying? I was able to think, straight. I had peace. I was at peace thinking spiritually about everything. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even looking for a relationship at all because of the fact that wasn't my mindset. My mindset wasn't. And let me show you this verse too. Let me see. I think there's a verse that talks about. Hold up. Where's that verse at? So there's a verse that says, like, a man who basically aims to please his wife. And let me find that verse real quick. Let me see if this is the right verse. 1 Corinthians 7:33 says right here, but he that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. So look, this is the whole point I'm trying to make. When your whole mindset is focused on trying to please your wife and trying to do things for a woman, you're more worried about the things of this world. It's like, oh, how can I please my wife? How can I, give her flowers and take her on a nice date and do this and do that? And how can I, do everything for her? Like, of course, do things for her. Of course, do that. But at the same time, though, it's almost like making her a god, though. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that you're putting everything above, you're putting everything below her. You're putting her first, then God next. But that's idolatry for one. So, even though being married and everything, like, it is a good thing, but at the same time, your whole mindset shouldn't be, how can I please my wife? Happy wife, happy life. That's bull crap. Happy wife, happy life. That's the reason why a lot of things are going wrong in this world, or even in relationships, because of the fact that you're trying to aim to please your wife when everything you should be doing is aiming to please God, Yahweh. That's the whole point. So I knew, for me personally, that having a woman in my life was going to distract me. It already showed, because of the fact that, for one, like I said, my last relationship that I was in, that I talked about, I let her become a distraction. And no diss to her, it was just on me. It was on me that I wasn't focused spiritually. Because I wasn't focused spiritually, and at the same time I wasn't, in the right mind space. It caused me to basically, like, fall in this category of trying to please her instead of trying to please God. You know what I'm saying? But just to fast forward and everything, basically, the whole point is that let me get back to where I was. Oh, so after I was with this girl and everything, after those 8 months of me just being by myself and everything, focus on myself. This when I'm this year, I'm in my, like, sophomore year in college, and this girl that I met, like I said, I'm not saying any names, but this girl, she was in one of my classes, and she like, came up to me and everything, and I guess, like I said, at this time, I wasn't really looking for a relationship at all. I wasn't, worried about nothing at all. I was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? But this girl, basically, she approached me, and she basically, what I'm saying, like, after some time, like maybe after a few days, a few weeks or so, we kind of clicked and everything, and she became my girlfriend at one point. But at the same time too, like, I kind of, in that moment, I was kind of like caught up, because of the fact I was like, dang, like, the fact that me and her, we clicked so fast. It's like, what's going on? Like, is this God? Like, I was literally in my mind thinking, like, is this God? The fact that we clicked so fast, it's like, dang, what's going, like, that's crazy. And it's like, I felt like that me and her, like, we were just, in a sense, meant to be. In that moment, I was thinking that she was the one, but at the same time, I kind of, like, in a sense, put my mind down spiritually a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. I was still in the truth, but my mind was put down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, I would say after a couple months of me being with her and everything, there was a time where me and her. Now this is one thing too, and this is one thing I didn't mention about what you call it, my last one I was with. But basically with me and this girl that I was with in 2021, um, I know me and her, like I think we met up a few times in her dorm room and everything. We didn't have sex, but we did kiss and everything, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like one thing you gotta realize is that kissing is very it opens up the doors for other things. You know what I'm saying? And kissing is like the first step of like being having somebody be your wife. Like if you kissing on somebody and everything, or if somebody is caught kissing, you might as well make them your wife. Like that's basically enticing her. When you humble somebody, when you humble a female, in a sense, when it comes down to kissing them or whatever it may be, you might as well make them your wife. Might as well. So with me personally, with me and her, like we were kissing, we were kissing everything, all our stuff, and we did a couple of more things that it wasn't sex, but it was like I said, it could have led to something bigger. You know what I'm saying? And something more drastic. You know what I'm saying? Could have led to sex. Same thing with me and my other girl that I had. But with difference between me and the girl that I was with before in 2020, I think she said she had a dream basically about God telling her that me and her should break up. But in this relationship I had in 2021, I didn't have a dream or anything, but it was just in my spirit. I was like, I need to break up with her. I don't need to be with her. Because it's something about this right here where it's like it's not right. And I need to get back focused. I don't need to be focusing on anything lustful. I don't need to be getting back into the worldly, into my worldly self. I need to stay focused. So it shows my improvement, or the improvement that God, the Spirit, made in me, letting me know like, hey, like even though this girl has the I guess intangibles of probably being your wife, but really think about it. Really think about what y'all doing right now. Because like I said, with me and this girl that I was with this year, we could have did things that went way beyond, what I'm saying, kissing and everything, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? So I made that decision myself. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be straight up with her. Because I'm not gonna be scared to, tell nobody anything. Because if I want to say something, I'm not gonna be scared to say it. I got to a point where it's like I can't hold my tongue anymore at all. I've been silent for a long time. I've kind of been like a quiet kid my whole life. Really didn't have much to say, you know what I'm saying? So it's time for me to really, let out, let it out. You know what I'm saying? So if I feel a way about something, if I feel like there's a word that's being put on my heart to say something, I'm gonna say it. So specifically with this girl I was with this year, I told her, I was like, hey, like even though what I'm saying, like what's called it, like we may like each other and everything and all that stuff or whatever, but I feel like personally, I'm kind of uninterested. At the same time, I need to focus on me and my relationship with God. And we even had conversations like throughout this time we were with each other, talking about how like I just put God first and everything, and how like my main focus is always God. Like I let her know from the jump. I was like, hey, like my whole intentions of my life is to like make sure that God is first, and I was serious about that, very serious. I let her know from the jump, so she already knew. She already knew before anything. Before we did anything, she already knew. But one thing with both relationships, once again, I did not go to the Father at all. With her, I'll say like a couple of months or into the second month of me being with her, I saw a video talking about how sex is marriage and everything, and it basically like gave me knowledge of how, like I said, I should go to the Father first before I do anything. So before I even try to have sex with somebody, even kiss them, whatever it may be, I gotta go to the Father first. And let me also tell y'all this too. So being in college is very dangerous when it comes down to being in a relationship, because of the fact that sometimes females are sneaky. Sometimes females are very sneaky. And with this girl I was with at this time, I think there was times where I think she told me something about like how her parents, like, they did not want her to be with anybody, you know, on campus. Like if they found out that me and her were together and everything, that they would probably come down to the campus and she'll be in trouble. So at that time, you know what I'm saying, I'm not really thinking about that. I'm like, you know, just brushing it off and everything. I'm just chilling because I'm not worried about nothing. I know that, you know, we're gonna be all fine and everything. I'm not worried about that. But after a while thinking about it, it's like, hold up, like you gotta make things click. Because first of all, when it comes down to marriage and everything, or just anything, the parents must know. That's very important. The parents must know at all times. They must know. And outside the same time too, she basically had those moments where she was kind of, in a sense, lying. You know what I'm saying? She was like lying to her parents and everything about who was she with and everything, or like what she was doing. Basically, like if I was there, you know what I'm saying, like I would have to be quiet sometimes and everything, and she would have to, in a sense, make a cover up for what she was doing. Like she'll say what she was doing, but she wasn't really, in a sense, like telling everything that she was doing though. And she was like also at the same time too, lying to some of her friends. She didn't tell, you know, them about me. She was more so just saying that, like she just in the room chilling or whatever, and all that stuff. And it's like at the same time, it may not seem like, you know, as, I guess, serious to lie, but it's at the same time too, it's like, hold up, like that is a sin. The fact that God himself said he doesn't like a lying tongue, and the fact that she's lying about certain things, and at the same time too, the fact that that was at one point she had me, like, you know, come home like late, like damn near like around 1 o'clock. We didn't have sex or nothing like that, but we was kissing and stuff. But she had me come home, like, you know, late, like around 1 o'clock though. And I was like, like this putting everything together, it's like, hold up, man, hold up. So even though this girl, you know what I'm saying, you may want to be with her and everything, but you got to think about it. How is this helping you spiritually? At the same time, you can't help her spiritually. And there were many times where it's like, you know, you may want to have a conversation with her about certain things, but it's like with her, she always thought, because at this time too, I was always having conversations with people, I think on this website called Omegle, where basically you just have to be face to face with strangers. And I had, you know, conversations with them about the Bible and all that stuff. And I came across a lot of people who, you know, wasn't in the truth. And of course, it may have came to debates and maybe even some arguments, but it wasn't really that serious, nothing like that at all. But she basically really never had, she in a sense never had the intentions to really learn for real. In terms of like, anytime I had a conversation with her about the Bible or whatever it may be, like it wasn't really like clicking. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I expected to click, you know what I'm saying, instantly, but at the same time, it's like, are you here? Are you here to, like, you know, are you with me to really, like, you know, have a true godly relationship, or do you want me just for sex or something like that? You know what I'm saying? You know, like that's the whole point. Like that's why you gotta watch out, you know, for who you with, who you be with. That's the whole thing with a marriage. Do you want her or him for sex, or for a true godly relationship? That's where my mind was now. That's where my mind is now. Back then, like I said, I had a very lustful mind. I wasn't really focused like I was now. But now it's like, hey, like, no, are you doing this because you want to serve God for real and want to like do something for God, or are you in it just for, like, you know, sex or whatever? You know what I'm saying? And let me tell y'all this too. One thing about females, they get attached. When you kiss them, just off kissing alone, they get attached. Females can get attached real quick, bro. I'm telling y'all. Females can get attached when you kiss them. And that leads to, like, you know, that's dangerous. Because of the fact that, like, I'm gonna let y'all know this too. Because basically, like, after we kissed and everything. This was both the females I was with. But after we kissed, I feel like this same thing with all females. After we kissed and all that stuff, like the week after, she wanted to hang out. And that's how you humble a female. When you humble a female and give them something they never had before, and let them experience something that it basically it fuels their flesh. They want more of it. You know what I'm saying? So when you give a female something that they want more of, that's when it's like it drains you almost. They want to drain all your energy out of you. I want to see you next week. I want to see you, tomorrow. I want to see you, every single day. And it's like, hold up. So it's like you gotta be careful with what you do with a female. You have to be very sure that this female is for you before you do anything with them. Be very sure. That's the reason why I'm just giving y'all my testimony, because of the fact that, like I said, I'm a prime example. I'm a prime example of waiting and being patient and going through the right process of marriage. When you come into the truth, you gotta live in it. Because there's a verse. Let me bring up this verse. Right here, Romans 2:13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified. Even right here, but be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. So when it comes down to this Bible and to anything about the Bible, when it comes out to even marriage, don't just hear about it, do it. Do it. And that's the whole point of this video. And every video that I make is to hear about the word and at the same time apply it to your life. It's all part of the commandments too. So the fact that I had basically like in my testimony and in my experiences of being with these two females, it showed me that, for one, I gotta put my focus on God and His word. First of all, I want to hear His word, because you gotta hear first. You gotta learn first. Once you learn and meditate on His word, and I'm gonna do this for a while before I even get into another relationship. You know what I'm saying? And even if I do, approach another female, I want to make sure that this female is the one, and at the same time that she is willing to have a very godly relationship. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of this whole video. It's to show y'all the effects of sex and sex and everything, and how it could, not even just sex, but kissing. Like I said, kissing can lead to a whole nother realm of just lust and of just attraction to a person. That's why you must be careful, and you must go by God's word. When you go by God's word and be patient with everything, it'll come to you. Like I said, good things come to those who wait. Remember that quote. Because I know a lot of people, like I said, like they mess around and have sex with somebody, and now you're stuck with them. Because you didn't get to know that person first. What you should have did is that you should have went through the right process. This is why the commandments, because I'm letting y'all know this right now. The commandments as a whole, not just about sex, not just about the marriage and everything. The commandments as a whole is the answer to your life. To any problems that we have going on in our communities, the commandments can fix them. Because once again, you can really go based off these commandments, and it'll just the Bible as a whole, and it'll open up your mind to how to really live life. This Bible is not just prophecies. It's not just a good word. It's a word. It's like a guide to your life. It's a life guide. And in order to really know how to deal with certain things, you got to look for it. You can find it in the Bible. How to deal with a wife, how to deal with just anything at all, anything. To know how to deal with it justly and rightfully, go in the Bible and find the answer. And I figured out, how to approach marriage in terms of going through the right process. Like I said, I know that for years, You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in the truth. My mindset, wasn't like in the right space. I was thinking carnally. And the fact that affected, a lot of things with my relationships that I was in. If I knew what I knew now, then I would have been good. I would have been good. But all praises that, it got to me now. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter when it comes to you, because at the same time, you go through a learning experience. The fact that I learned so much in my life, so much about everything. And I take heed to all that. I take heed to everything. Even if I may not remember a lot of stuff, I already applied it to my life. And I'm living in it. Like I said, I'm being a hearer and a doer. The things that I heard before, the things that I took in, the lessons that I learned, I took all those things in and did it. I'm not ignorant. If somebody is giving me a word, giving me a message, giving me advice, I'm going to take all those things and apply it to my life. Because I know it's meant to help me. This Bible is meant to help me. And now I'm doing the same thing in return to everybody else. Even though I'm young and everything, but at the same time, age does not matter when it comes down to this word. It can be given to anybody, so that they can, know how to live their life right. You know what I'm saying? So in terms of, like I said, sex, y'all need to be careful. Y'all don't want to get trapped. Because once again, you gotta think about it. When you are with this woman, y'all become one flesh. And you're stuck with her. As soon as you make her your wife, you're stuck with her. And that creates a soul tie. That's where soul ties come from. When y'all connect, when that seed, when her seed and your egg, when your seed and her egg connect, that creates a spiritual bond. That makes y'all one flesh. So she's a part of you. And let me also show y'all this real quick. Hold up, let me find this verse where this lady was talking to Christ. And Christ basically, like, in a sense, joked with her. Let me show y'all this real quick. In John 4. So the woman of Samaria. So I'm gonna read right here. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus saith unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the cities to buy meat. So let me skip down a little bit. Let me see, where is it? Where is it at? Right here. Okay, so Yahushua said unto her, go call thy husband and come hither. And put in the red letter. All right. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua said unto her, thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands. And he whom thou now hast is, hold up. And he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. And in that says thou truly. The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. So, for one, how did Christ know that she had, why is he saying that she had 5 husbands? Because this lady right here, she's like, hold up, what you mean I got 5 husbands? What you mean I don't have no husband? But he said, hey, you got 5 husbands. Meaning that you slept around with 5 men. That's what he's saying. So when you, like I said, when you understand what marriage is and how you get that title of a husband or a wife, it comes through sex. Christ know this. He know this. He was like, hey, you got 5 husbands. And the first one that you had sex with, he's your husband. He's technically your husband. Even though you got 5 husbands, but the first person that take your virginity, that's your husband. Technically. Let me also find that verse. I think it said something about hold up, blood or something. It was something. Let me see. It was somewhere. I forgot where it was, but I think it was like the shedding of blood or something like that. And if I can't find it, like I'll basically try to read, you know what I'm saying, just not verbatim, but just try to like paraphrase the verse I'm trying to look for. But I know there's a verse that says like basically when it comes down to like, somebody becoming a wife, she sheds blood, but in a sense of like, basically like they lay a towel down or whatever. They lay a towel down. When they lay a towel down, and her and the wife and the husband, like, or the man and the woman, they have sex. And she basically like, blood spills out of her vagina basically. So when that blood comes out, it shows you how her virginity was lost. So they take that towel and give it to the what's called the dad as evidence that okay, we consummated the marriage. So now it's official that we're married. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole point of that. But basically, like I said, in this context, that's what I'm saying. Like, with her, she said that she had a husband, but she laid up with five dudes, five different dudes. And that's why I'm saying, like, you got to be careful with who you be with, because you may not know how you get stuck with somebody. This lady herself did not really know that, you know what I'm saying, that Christ knew that she had five husbands. So you got to be careful out here. Don't just make anybody your husband or your wife at all. Male and female, both y'all. We all got to be careful. All of us do. We got to go through the right, you know what I'm saying, the right process of marriage. You know what I'm saying? And in my testimony, like I said, like if I knew what I knew then, I would have been straight. The fact that I didn't even try to go to either both of the females that I was with, I didn't go to their fathers at all for anything. When it comes down to trying to ask for the daughter's hand in marriage, I didn't do none of that stuff. But now I know, and now that I know, I'm good. Because that's one thing too. One thing about this truth is that once you come into the truth of something, you're renewed. I think there's a verse that talks about that, but let me see. But I think it was like basically like, for example, if you know of a sin, right? If you know of a sin and you still do that sin, then basically it's like there's no I guess there's no like deal for that sin, but like you can't go back on that at all. You have to like basically face punishment for that sin. So if I know how to approach certain things, if I know about the commandments, if I know I'm not supposed to eat pork, if I know I'm supposed to keep the Sabbath, if I know that with a marriage I'm supposed to do these things, I'm supposed to go through a process of marriage. If I know these things and I don't do it, I have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? So the whole point is for me now, like where I'm at now, I can move forward and do what I need to do to get prepared for anything. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a relationship, whether it be what's to come in this world, the wickedness and the trouble that's coming to Jacob. All these things, like what I'm saying, like I could be prepared for all that stuff because of the fact that I got my mind right spiritually. So when you get right spiritually, only then will you be able to, what I'm saying, like live the life that God wanted you to live. That's when you do God's will. God's will is not what you think. God's will is in the word. You just got to read it. People think that, well, God's will for you is to be a preacher or whatever, is to be this, to be that. It's like, no. That's what the pastor thinks. The pastor told you that. But when you really listen, read God's word, you'll find out what his will is for you. He can speak to you in many ways too and tell you what you need to know. But the main way he speaks is through his word. So when you read his word and figure out what it says, then you'll be ready for anything that comes in this world. You'll be ready for anything. But for this video specifically, I want y'all to be ready for it in terms of a relationship. Be ready for that. If you want one, I'll say that. If you want a relationship, you got to be ready for that. Because I don't want y'all to be out here just having sex with anybody. If you have the knowledge of the truth, don't just hear it, do it. Learn it, hear it, meditate on it, and then go out and do it. That's the whole point of this whole video. So hopefully in this video, y'all got edified on what marriage is. Y'all should know that sex is marriage now. I already confirmed it through the scriptures. If y'all need more, edification, I'll make more videos in the future concerning sex or whatever it may be. Answering any questions y'all may have about whether it be fornication and adultery, all that stuff. I can go to all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But for now, like this is just, like I said, the basis and foundation of what marriage really is in this world. Ain't got nothing to do with a ring. Ain't got nothing to do with the wedding reception. At the same time, you can still do it if you want to. Like if you want to, like, you know what I'm saying, like go by the way of what Esau, because that whole wedding ring thing, that's Esau's, that's Esau's plan. That's the Esau marriage. That's the Edomite, marriage or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who made up that whole wedding ring thing. If you want to do it like that, you can. But just letting y'all know that the main way to do it is through what the word says. Technically, if y'all want to be technical about everything, the right way to do a marriage is through what the word says and through what I just gave y'all. But that's really about it for this video. Like I said, hopefully y'all be edified through the spirit. I got a lot more videos coming on the way to just edify y'all even more. And if it's Lord's, if it's if Lord willing, I'm gonna make videos as much as I can to help y'all, understand the actual truth, you know what I'm saying, of this word. And yeah, that's really about it. But I'll drop more videos in the future. I don't know exactly what they're gonna be on, but I'm gonna find something to talk about, every single day. I'm trying to make a video every single day, try to edify y'all each time I can. And hey, just want to give all praises to how about Shem Yahushua for giving me the word to give to y'all. Because without him, none of this is possible. Without him, none of this is possible at all. Now I want to thank him for that. You know what I'm saying? But that's all though. Until next video, hey, I'll see y'all and shalom. Shalom.